you're locked in with the sight set, on your target, so to speak?
This is what I want to do. I'm locked in on this. Luke Combs wrote a song about it, and he said, someone asked him once in an interview, almost the exact question you asked me, what would you do if you weren't doing this? And he said, I'd be doing this if I wasn't doing this.
I pulled up for some fuel at the local station. Yeah, I hit the Quaking Mart for some drinks, food, and conversation. This girl put it in park, I wasn't waiting on an invitation. Cause it's 4:59 on Friday time. And what I'm trying to say is I've only got a minute till quitting time. This truck's made for two, honey, hop inside. I'll take you anywhere down to my last dime. We can get it all started after quitting time. If you wait just a minute, honey, what do you say? We can leave after that, I'll carry you away. We've only got a minute, honey, what do you think? Leave our Friday night, Saturday, church going Sunday.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living in the Limelight. I'm your host, Jay Huller. As a quick reminder, please follow us on Instagram at Living in the Limelight Show, and check out our website at livinginthelimelight.com. And of course, you can find our podcasts through all the major streaming services, including Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Check us out also on YouTube at Living in the Limelight Podcast. Each week, we feature a conversation with a different artist where we delve into what makes them tick, and sometimes we get pro tips on pursuing a career as an artist. If you are a performer or know someone who is and would like to be considered for our show, check out the questionnaire at livinginthelimelight.com, and thanks so much for listening. Johnathon Heilbroun is a young artist who is quickly on the rise. He's been singing since he could talk, but his passion really took hold a couple of years ago when he did a solo at a Christmas chorus concert. He has been moving toward his dream ever since, having released 3 songs and played numerous shows. He has a tremendously supportive network and is incredibly thankful for everyone who has given him some encouragement. In this episode, Johnathon shares his passion for music, performing, and for creating his art. So let's get right to it and welcome Johnathon Heilbroun to Living in the Limelight.
Hello.
Hello, is this Johnathon?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Welcome to Living in the Limelight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You, as many of the people I talk to, are super, super busy. I know we rescheduled once, and you're gigging all the time. So I would actually love to dig into that. Can you frame it for the people listening? Because a lot of people that listen to these podcasts are music fans, right? They're listening, they're watching, they're appreciating. But really, I personally can't imagine what it's like to have a show like every night or almost every night or a few a week, and the preparation around that. Is it a good busy? Is it sometimes up and down? How would you frame it for like how your life has been the last year doing shows and stuff?
Well, it's really a good busy because, I mean, of course, the preparation for it is sometimes tough when, like, if you're learning a new song, you have to work extra harder on that, but it's all worth it in the end, because when you walk out there on that stage, it's the time of your life, and it's like a feeling that it's one of those feelings you can't explain.
Would you, if you could, it's not theoretically possible to live on a stage, but would you just jam pack your every night, if you could, with playing music? Would that just be the best for you?
Well, I'm not going to say every night. I mean, I would try to balance it out.
Uh-huh.
But I would definitely, at least every week.
Is it sort of like maybe this is I'm supposing something, it's kind of like a glass getting filled up. What's the feeling you get when you're in front of the crowd and you're playing both covers and some of your original work too? But what's that connection that you feel why is it so rewarding to be on the stage delivering music?
Well, I mean, because it just makes you feel good that all that hard work that you did during the preparation during the week or the week before or whenever you prepared for this show or while you're preparing for this show, all that hard work you put in learning that new song or all that preparation you put into figuring out what songs need to go into what section of your set list or, just little things you say to the crowd when they're, all cheering and having a good time. It just makes you feel great that all this hard work is finally paying off
these people. Does it sort of feel like a natural place for you? Like, have you sort of, I mean, you're 15 still, right? Or have you had a birthday?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's kind of natural now, but at the beginning it was kind of nerve-wracking having all those people looking at you. But as you keep doing it, it starts to feel normal. And when you're not on stage, it kind of feels like you're missing. Like if you were watching a concert, it kind of feels like you should be up there because you're wanting that feeling of making those people, have fun and, have a good time. So it kind of feels like I want to do this even more now.
And so to you, it's sort of like a core need. It's sort of what I'm hearing. So like you're watching, some of the greats on stage and they've got their concerts with 30, 50, 100,000 people or whatever. And you're like, I want to be there. I want to be doing that. You feel the pull as much as you feel the appreciation of what they're doing. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's really amazing. So can you see yourself doing anything else besides this as a career, as a future for you? Or you feel like you're locked in with the sight set, on your target, so to speak?
This is what I want to do. I'm locked in on this. Luke Combs wrote a song about it, and he said, someone asked him once in an interview, almost the exact question you asked me, what would you do if you weren't doing this? And he said, I'd be doing this if I wasn't doing this.
Yeah, great answer. Or I'd be getting whatever out of the way to do this so I could do this. Yeah, that's testament, I believe, to someone who's found their way. There's just like you'd have to be pulled away, clawing at the stage to say, oh no, I'm here, right? It's your place. And
yes, sir.
I can really appreciate that because you're young, and a lot of kids your age are like, well, and it does take some people some time. I'm not knocking that, but it's great that so early, so now you can hone your craft and practice it and perform. I really appreciate that, and I hope that you realize it's kind of a rare thing too, to know
yes,
so
sir.
early. Yeah, I'm sure people have told you that. So even though you're young now, let's go way back because I love to feel you out on how this all started, because clearly you've told me it's a draw. It's I don't know, to use like, I'm going to use an old analogy this may not apply to you or get it, but like the tractor beam in Star Trek. I don't know if you ever watched that show, but basically, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. I've heard it's a good show, but I've never watched it. I've watched a couple of Star Wars movies, and I tried to get into those, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've heard Star Trek is way better than Star Wars, though.
I would agree, but we're going to get all sorts of hates on that one. But what it is basically, the concept is like, so you're in a ship, and the planet is got some mechanism, right? And it's literally attached to your computer it's a laser beam, so to speak, and it pulls the ship into the planet. Like you can't even get out of it. It's like a strong pull, and that's what you have. Like you said, I've got to be doing it. I got to be doing it. So I'd love to go back to when you were just a little kid, and those first times, because you said it was scary, the first few times, And I want to know, like, work through that. Like, how did you work over the fear? But before you get to that part, tell me, like, when was the first time you like, picked up an instrument or went into a microphone or whatever, and you're like, music is fun?
Well, the first time I ever performed live was actually in school. I had gotten invited to our school chorus class, and our teacher gave me a solo.
Mm.
And if you watch the video now, I was stiff as a board. I mean, I was scared to death. But after that, all those people cheering, it made me feel like a warm feeling inside, like, hey, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that Christmas, my parents got me my first guitar.
Oh.
And I started taking guitar lessons in January 1st. And was working on that. And so February comes around, and I mean, I'm still working on my guitar, but
Sure.
we go to Guitar Center in Atlanta, Georgia,
Uh-huh.
and they have this Gibson J45 that I absolutely fell in love with, because we were just going just to look. And
danger, going to a guitar store just to look. Uh-oh. I think I know where
yes,
it's going.
sir. and so I mean, I played probably 5 or 6 guitars that night, but I kept coming back to this one. And I looked at my dad and I said, "Dad, are we going to get this guitar?" And he said, "No." And so we started on our way home, because we live about between an hour and a half away from that store.
Yeah.
And he said, "There is a way you can buy that guitar." And I said, "How?" I mean, I was all excited about it. And he goes, "Well, you got a 4-wheeler in the building you never ride."
Mm-hmm.
And he expected an immediate no after he said that.
I bet he did.
And, well, I said, "Okay."
Oh.
And the next morning, I got the key, and I took me a little piece of cardboard and a Sharpie, and I wrote "for sale." And I took the key, and I cranked it up, and I drove it up to the end of the driveway, and there was a couple people passing down our dirt road that we live on, and I was flagging them down like, "Hey, come buy this."
Yeah.
None of them stopped, and Dad was expecting me to change my mind, and I didn't. And he went and put it on Facebook Marketplace, and found somebody, and they bought it. And we went back to Guitar Center, and we bought that Gibson J45.
Oh my goodness!
I've been playing it since that day.
How long was your 4-wheeler for sale?
It sold that day. I'm not sure. It was a few hours.
And so you went back to Guitar Center as soon as you possibly could. Did you go back within a day or two, or was it like a little bit of a delay and you were anxious to get there?
I think it was the next day, because we had something to do that day.
Uh-huh.
And then I think it was the next day, because we were gonna put it on hold, because I was somewhere else. I don't remember where I was, but I went somewhere, and we called to have them put it on hold, and they said they wouldn't hold it. And so my parents went and picked it up, and I came home, and it was sitting in the living room, and I had the biggest smile on my face I probably ever had.
Wow. I can imagine, because I got drums for Christmas one year, and it was a similar kind of story. It's like, yeah, we can't do that. Are you kidding me? And I had to work it off, basically. But it's when you like music, and that's a trick, like a tool of the trade, so to speak. It's a super big deal. So when you sold that 4-wheeler and your dad was like, "Yeah, you never ride that thing," did you have any, I'd call it buyer's remorse or misgivings, or like feel like part of your childhood was kind of going away? Or were you, even at that age, right then, were you so solid on this is the right choice and I think I'm moving forward? How did it feel for you?
Well, when I drove it up there, I mean, I was so excited. I mean, there are times that I do miss it because, I mean, it'd just be fun. But, I mean, not really. I don't really miss it that much.
Yeah.
So where I'd go and, you know, sell, I would never sell that guitar to buy another four-wheeler. I mean, that's my guitar. That's like, you know, that's one of my prized possessions. But I don't think I have any buyer's remorse of it.
Well, that's good. That means it was a great purchase for you, and I can hear it in your voice, calling it a prized possession, and you know, just do you see it as as besides just like you're playing a song and it's the instrument with the music coming out? Do you see it as more than that, because it is part of you've written several songs. How is it connected to you as a songwriter?
Well, see, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like for all you parents out there that are listening, it's kind of like one of your children.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's one of those things that's like, wow, this is, you know, it's like, it's kind of hard to explain, really. I mean, when I'm up there singing with it, it's like it makes you proud.
The pride that comes from that, would it be from take the value away? Because I know it wasn't free. You had to put some money down to get that thing because it's a great instrument. But if you take the value away and like the money away, as an item that you string around your neck and you play with, and it's playing the music, or you're playing the music, but it's emitting the sounds with your voice, how would you describe it in terms of the value for you? Like, no way to measure it?
Yes, so there's no way to measure it. It's my first guitar that I bought. So it's like, you know, it's like mine that I went out and I did it myself.
So that's part of it. It's kind of like the first one. Do you see yourself as on down the road when your career's developed? Do you see yourself collecting a few more?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Do you have your eyes on another one, maybe to be the brother of the one you've got?
Well, I actually just recently bought another one, so I don't think there's going to be another one for quite a while.
What did you just pick up?
I picked up a Gibson Doves in Flight.
And how's that one going for you?
It's one of the best guitars I've ever heard.
Nice. What do you?
I mean,
how do you appreciate it? Like what about it do you love?
Well, I mean, it's just if you've ever seen one, it's a beautiful guitar, and I've wanted one for a couple of years since I found one. I found it online because I was looking, you know, at the Gibson website and stuff, figuring out. I mean, I've wanted one for a couple of years, but I was figuring out what makes this sound so great. And I was reading through the story and looking through some of their guitars that they had, and they had a Gibson Doves in Flight, and it was just, I fell in love with it. It was just a beautiful guitar.
So let's dream a little bit here, because I love to dream with the people I have on the show. Let's say 2 years from now, you're at a show, you're headlining, you got, say, 5,000 people in the crowd. You have 10 of your own original songs, and you're going through your set, and you take a break, like it's time to take a break, and another band comes up or whatever, and you're off stage, and some guy comes up to you or a gal, and she's like, hey Jonathan, we love what you're doing with our guitars. We'd love to endorse you as an artist. And it's the person's from Gibson. What what would be your reaction to be like an endorsed artist, an artist who plays the instruments and showcases the instruments for that company?
Well, I would be speechless. I mean, by the time words come out, it would be time for me to go back on because I would be so in shock. But, I mean, I would definitely, that would be a dream come true for that to happen. Yeah. I mean, I would just be speechless.
Well, I'm a big believer in you put things out in the universe just to kind of see what happens. So if this podcast makes it to Gibson's ears, there you go. You have right in front of you someone who is a 100,000% artist in love with your tools of the trade. So yeah, we'll see if we can collectively make that happen on down the road. I think that's
yes, sir.
Awesome. So even further back, maybe, because I think you talked about your first time on stage. Do you remember when you were a kid listening to music and singing it around the house, or was that talent show, or sorry, the school talent show, was that the first time you sort of felt the pull? Was it any time earlier, or do you think that was the beginning?
Well, to begin with, actually, when I was a little kid, I would come home because I used to play football before I decided I wanted to do music. Mm-hmm. But when I was a little kid, I would be, we'd come home from football practice or something, and I would sing songs, usually I sang Faithfully by Journey.
Great song.
Let's see, what else did I sang Footloose.
These were songs that your parents were playing in the car or in the house?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's my generation.
I would, I'd sing them, and Dad would video them and post them on Facebook, but then that kind of went away because I was working on football, mm-hmm. and then I just got so busy with football that kind of went away for a little bit, actually. And then I got the invite to the chorus class at school. I mean, okay. A few years later, and then, all of this just came back.
Wow. So even with football, don't just want to say in the way, because it's a great thing growing up to do. It's a good activity, and a good exercise outlet. But even with something like that, that's super strong, and I'm sure your parents love to watch you play, but it seemed like maybe that was covering up this need to kind of develop music, and so now it's full force, and I think that's great. Let's talk a little bit about the music that you've created, because it still baffles me. I talk to people of all ages on this show, and when I talk to young people like you, I'm in awe. I'm in total respect for the creation of art and the creation of music. And so I've got 3 songs here listed on my notes here: the Church Going Sunday, California Sand, and For the Stars and Stripes. I'd love for you to talk about all 3 of them, and in whatever order you want, and how it was that you developed those songs, why they came about, how you feel when you sing them, just because that's your zone, right? That's your wheelhouse. And I think that's where people will really get to know you a lot if they can hear you narrate how you came up with your music, what it was like, and what's it like singing them today.
Well, For the Stars and Stripes was actually, it was a great moment, because this guy reached out on Facebook, and his name is Mr. Ricky Dunn. He lives in North Carolina.
Okay.
And he reached out on Facebook and said, "Hi, my name is Ricky Dunn. I love the way you sing I'm a songwriter. Here's one of my songs I would like you to sing. And he sent me For the Stars and Stripes.
Oh.
And it's an amazing song that tells a great story of a kid that he's bound and determined, kind of like me and the other musicians that would be listening to this show. They're bound and determined to make it in the music industry.
Yeah.
He was bound and determined he was going to go serve his country. And unfortunately, in the song, he doesn't make it back, just like so many others. But he served with pride because he knew freedom wasn't free, as it says in the song.
Mm-hmm. And how old were you when Ricky reached out to you to sing that song?
I was 13, I believe.
13. Wow. Can you appreciate the fact that you were probably already kind of in your zone, knowing what you're going to do for a stranger, literally, to reach across the Facebook and go, I want that person to sing my song?
Yes, sir. I mean, I was amazed, and it was just it kind of let me know that, hey, I'm going in the right direction here.
Yeah, I bet it did. Oh man, that's amazing. Cool. And so the recording of it, was that the first time you did recording of a song?
Oh, it was amazing because when he sent it to me in a demo, it was nothing but him and an acoustic guitar, and it amazes me so much to watch a song go from, zero. When I say zero, I don't mean like not good. I mean like
simple,
nothing, bare bones,
stripped,
simple, to this amazing piece of art that, like everything just works together, and it's just like an awe moment experience to watch this instrument do this, and how the instruments reflect on the words of the song.
Oh, you're giving me goosebumps. Keep talking about it. Yeah, so you said it was a demo with him and a guitar, and it grew, it evolved into a full-fledged song, and you saw the instrumentation building around that, and then, your voice was its own instrument within it. Yeah, it is amazing. And I think a lot of us who listen to music don't appreciate that, but I hear a lot from musicians and from artists and singers that are like, oh, it was just this. It was in my voice memos on my phone, right? And then it became an instrument, or, a song with instrumentation. So I love that. So,
yes, sir.
So that one, the words were written by someone else. What about California Sand?
California Sand was co-written by myself and a friend in Arkansas named Justin Sexton.
Okay.
And it was written actually about a true story about me and my girlfriend, because her name is Brooklyn Summer. She actually used to live in California before she moved to Nashville.
Oh, okay.
And I had gone out there, and we stayed at the Paseo Hotel. I mean, that's in the song. Everything about that song is a true story. And so all the events that played out, it just amazed me how me and him put them into like a melody of words for a song. And it was great.
Okay, so you're gonna have to flesh this out a little bit for me, because I think the timeline. So, where did you meet Brooklyn?
We met on Instagram.
Okay.
And then after we had been together for a little over a month, I flew out to California to meet her and her family.
Got you. Okay, so you met each other on Instagram, got to know each other that way, probably had some phone calls or whatever, and then
Yes, sir.
planned this vacation out there to meet the families to meet. Excellent. Okay, and so that meeting inspired the song. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your friend, Justin, was he traveling with you, or was he a friend from back home?
Well, he was actually. That's another funny story about a different song, but we're not going to talk about that song right now.
Okay.
But we met him through a different song that was pitched to me, and when we got back, we reached out and was like, "Hey, can you write a song about this trip that we just went on?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so we wrote a song.
Okay, so that brings me to the question that was burning on my mind. So that first time to physically be with Brooklyn and meet her family and put eyes to eyes and go to the beach and all that in the song and the experience, that inspired you enough or more to say, gosh, what a fun experience that was. It's got my emotions all up. I want to do a song about it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you tell Brooklyn that you were working on the song when you started working on it, or did you just slay her with a surprise?
I did not. I actually surprised her with it.
I would have too. Tell me about that.
Because, we had been working on it, and it was finished and ready to be recorded. And the day I went in the studio, I said, "I'm working on a surprise for you." And about maybe a week or two later, when the guy finished the song, when I saw her the next time, I played it for her, and it was just, she was so happy she had tears of joy coming out of her eyes.
Oh my goodness. Were you guys together physically like then, or was this over a phone call or FaceTime or whatever?
No, sir. This was like in person.
In person. Great. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. Wow. Or romantic you are at 15. So she loved it, and she was in tears. And what was that like for you? Because that's a little different sort of delivery for a song. It's not up on stage singing and playing the guitar. It's taking a finished piece and playing it, for somebody that you love. What was it like?
Well, of course I was nervous because I was like, I hope she likes it.
Yeah.
But it was really just a heartwarming moment to know that she loves the story and this song just as much as I do when we wrote it.
So it sort of validated the relationship in a sense, and it validated your time together, and it encapsulated the moment, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Wow, that's so cool.
But since we released it, and this will come out soon, we made a remastered version of it with that had her singing the backup vocals on in the song.
Really? Oh,
yes,
that's
sir.
Super sweet. I can't wait to hear that. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. And I'm just crystal balling this, but I imagine there are some really great duets between you two that are on down the road in the future. Like you've been on stage together. I've seen some posts on Instagram or whatever, but can you envision working on her collaboratively with songs on down the road and doing duets and then sharing ideas back and forth and like that whole relationship?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're planning to do that actually as soon as we can. But we do play some shows together. We have played one in Nashville and a couple around Georgia. We played the one in Nashville at the Up Rooftop Lounge at the Fairfield Hotel.
Uh-huh.
And we played a couple around Georgia. And we do some duets in there. We do like the the duet with Kid Rock and Sheryl Crow, The Picture.
Oh, yeah, I love that song.
And then we do a new one called Wait in the Truck by Hardy and Lainey Wilson.
Okay.
And we do one more, and this is a new one we just added to our set. It's called Who Says You Can't Go Home, the Bon Jovi and Jennifer Nettles song.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I love the contemporary mix you guys are putting in there. That's really great.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to throw old school at you and see if anyone's ever asked you to do this song, but what about Islands in the Stream?
I think one person actually asked us to do that, but we didn't. Neither one of us. Well, I knew the song, but I didn't know how to play it.
Oh, on the instrument,
sing
on guitar.
It.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I didn't know how to play it and sing it good enough to do it justice to do it during a show.
Got you. I appreciate that because you didn't want to like mess it up at all. You want to honor it the way it is. That's that one's such a great melody, and the mix of Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton together. Oh my gosh.
Yes, sir.
You might try it out, see what happens in a rehearsal, and go through the words. You'd be surprised, because I find that old songs like that stand up pretty well, and you guys could probably really do it justice. So
yes,
cool.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that's California Santa. Oh my goodness. So Church Going Sunday, which is going to be featured on this podcast on both the beginning and the intro here and at the end. Talk about that one.
Well, that one was also written by myself and Justin Sexton.
Okay.
And what that song is basically saying is it's telling the story of a guy who's working at, let's say, a gas station, and this girl falls up, and this girl pulls up in her truck, and he just immediately falls in love, like it's love at first sight. And he says it's 4:59 on Friday time, meaning it's Friday. So when he gets off, he's only got a minute. So what do you say? Will you be my Friday night, Saturday, and church going Sunday? Meaning, I want you to be my good times, like, because Friday night's always associated with a good time.
Right.
But I also want you to be my Saturday, which is like a downtime, like my weekend, and my church going Sunday, meaning I want you to be my everything. So, I want you to come to church with me. I want you to go with me throughout this week until the next Friday, Saturday, and church going Sunday, and then until the next.
Clever. I like that. And can you, I don't know, this is very presumptuous of me, so you can refuse to answer, of course, but is there any parallel to that and California and the way you feel about Brooklyn? I know you're still young and there's time to grow all that, but was it like, boom, a really strong feeling when you were on Instagram together or when you first met, or was it a moment like that? Was it like a gas station moment for you where it wasn't, slow? It was just like a quick, this is the person that I want to be my Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Is it based off of that
no,
at all?
Sir.
Okay.
It was definitely the love at first sight. When I met you, you're who I want to be my everything.
Yeah. So
that's what the song was based on, was that little section right there. And we just wrote around about, a guy working in a store, and this girl pulls up in a pickup truck, and,
and I think that song many people relate to because it happens.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it happens more often than we all know because, there's lots of encounters like that at gas stations and everywhere. So I think that's great. Yeah, it's a great way to frame life because you've got, like you said, the Friday night fun and the Saturday night going to the park and, taking walks and stuff, the downtime, and then the Sunday being together in a wholesome, nurturing kind of way, and then it repeats, right? So I think that's cool.
Yes, sir.
Really cool. So you've co-written slash been the singer for 3 songs now. So what about an original from you from beginning to end? I imagine there is one like burning to pop out.
There is one that it is still in the process of being written.
Uh-huh.
But I actually think I'm going to co-write this with my good friend Scott Barrier, because I have run into some troubles with it.
Okay.
Because when we wrote it, or when I wrote it, I mean, I had no idea that this is the way it went. But we walked in the recording studio, because when you record a song, we do the instrumentals, and then at a later date you record the vocal part of it.
Right.
And when we walked in, the producer, we did the music, and then he said, the way your song goes sounds exactly like the song Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger.
Oh, that's a classic.
And I had no idea that that's the way it sounded. And so I'm going to have my friend, Mr. Scott Barrier, help me out on some working with the melody to change it.
Got you. Yeah, so you don't have any copyright problems.
Yes, sir.
Or whatever. That makes sense. Well, so I guess that brings me to the question of when you were starting on this song. Did you start on guitar, or did you start with the words?
Well, I wrote it actually on the way home from Nashville.
Okay.
And I wrote it in 5 hours, because it's a 5-hour drive from Nashville to my house.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote the whole song driving down the road. And then when we got home, then I put the guitar parts to it.
Got you. Okay, so it started with the words for you and creating verses and whatnot, and then you're like, I'm going to pick up a guitar and see what I can do melody-wise.
Yes, sir.
Got you. And so when the melody started coming out, and that similarity to the Bob Seger song was happening, it was totally unknown to you, but it is a classic, like, well respected song for the ages. What's your takeaway from that? Like, because and you can speak to this however you want, but to me, if like that happened to me, I'd be like, whoa, I wrote something similar to something that was really, really super accepted. I must be kind of doing well with what I'm learning here. Did you feel like a little bit of pride?
Yes, sir. I mean, I did. Of course, I was like, I got to change this immediately.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I kind of did feel that sense of, well, if this was a huge hit in the, let's see, probably 80s or 70s or 80s, then I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Because it's already, made its way up the charts, and it's done its course. And it's still a great song today, and you hear it all the time.
Absolutely.
But yes, sir, I did kind of feel that, well, hey, I must be doing something right then.
Yeah, that's cool. I've heard of a few stories where people, and it's like they're in the studio and they're recording something, and then it doesn't quite sound right, and one will turn to the other and they're like, that sounds like someone else that recorded a song in here 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago, and there was this but with no literal connection to it. It just was like a vibe that was happening. So you were channeling.
Yes, sir.
You were channeling Bob Seger somehow, and you didn't know it. That's cool. All right. So, what's your preferred approach? Let's take a brand new song, like hot. You have an experience, right? And you want to create something out of it. And I know that. So from Nashville to your house is 5 hours, and you're putting pen to paper in your, or maybe on your phone, you're writing this song. If you had all the tools at your disposal, let's say you had a home recording studio that was top quality, you had all the instruments, and you had musicians all around and stuff, what would you like be the first thing? Would you always go to writing words and getting the thoughts out, or would you like play around on the guitar and create like a melody and then go, well, hey, I could do some words to this. How do you feel would be your best way to operate?
Well, if I had my own home studio and I could do all the things that these big, producers are doing,
yeah.
I would try. I think maybe I could like start on the words and maybe finish it with music and then go back and do the words. But I think the words determine the vibe of the song, and then the music helps to enforce that vibe that you want to create in this song.
Interesting. And that's probably what you're struggling with your new song is you had a vibe. You had music that was supporting the vibe, and now you've got to create different music, and so it's going to be a little more of a challenge to recreate. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes, sir.
Interesting. Yeah, so it is like it's a blend. It's like a sandwich. You've got the meat and you got the things that go with it. That's
yes, sir.
Very cool. I love that. Well, who knows? Maybe you'll have that one day. I think I actually mentioned this on the last podcast I did, but I'll point you to, actually, I'll ask this question. If you had no other obligations, would you do music all day long? Would you be in a studio environment like that creating, or would you want to balance it out and, take a few hours and go spend time with Brooklyn or whatever, like, would you want balance all the time? Or are you like really, really gung ho about music right now?
Well, so I would definitely balance it, but if I had like no obligations from 12 to 7 o'clock at night,
mm-hmm.
and I could be in the studio, even just like if I was playing on somebody's song, I would definitely go just for the experience of it. Because if you've never been there in the studio while somebody's creating music, it's really something. It's just, I would definitely go, but I would still want that balance where I could go spend time with Brooklyn, or travel somewhere for the day just to go out and have fun with Brooklyn or whoever else I'm with.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I was wondering what you'd say because too much of any one thing is not necessarily a good thing. So that sounds great. I love your attachment to the creation of it and just being with anyone. So that brings me to the next question. If you're at a show and maybe you went to see one of your friends perform there, Brooklyn for that matter. Let's say she's on stage in Nashville and you're just coming up for the weekend to visit or whatever. And she's like, "Hey, Jonathan, did you bring your guitar?" You're like, "I got it in the truck." And you like go grab it. Would you like go instantly and just hop on that stage and do what you could? Would you embrace that, or be like, "Well, I haven't really rehearsed and I'm worried," or what would be for anyone asking you to come on stage and or to go in the studio with them, or maybe they're different. Do you feel gravitated towards all of that and any of that?
Yes, sir. I would love to. Like, if somebody asked me to come up on the stage and I had my guitar with me, I would immediately go grab it and I'd join right in. And, we'd go up there and we'd have a good time. It's not just about yourself having a good time. It's about the crowd having a good time as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not enjoying it, the crowd's not enjoying it either. Does that make sense? Because like you have to believe in what you're doing in order for somebody else to believe in it.
See, so that's a huge lesson for anyone listening. I think in any work, walk of life, anything you're doing is if you don't enjoy it, you should probably do something else. And so you're telling me that you take your enjoyment, your passion for music, and you go to whatever stage, to whatever environment, and you bring that naturally, and then therefore the crowd picks up on it and they have a good time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh man, that's like a 30-year-old mature person talking. I want you to realize that that's a huge mature outlook. I feel that to understand that, because some people are like, it's all about the show and you got to sing well and you got to look good and all that, but it's the passion and it's the drive and the feeling that you bring. Everyone, the people listening, they're going to pick up on it. We're pretty smart. As listeners. Very cool. Well, we've talked about gear, and we've talked about gear that you might like to have in the future. So let's paint the future for you. You have all of the tools that you want in front of you, anything's possible. What would you like to see your music career looking like in 5 years? How would it be different from today?
In 5 years, I would love to be touring all over the country, going to anywhere from, the top left part of Washington, all the way down to Miami, Florida, or
Cool.
Key West, Florida. I mean, we can go even south than that.
Gotcha.
But I mean, anywhere from in between those two states, or even up the East Coast. I mean, I want to go everywhere and just have fans that are going to come and enjoy themselves, and like, it would make me happy just to see other people being happy and enjoying themselves, and me knowing my music is bringing them happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could put everybody waving their big flame lighters in the sky. And, well, I mean, now I don't think that's allowed anymore. So, I mean, we'd use our phone flashlight.
Right.
But the one thing I would definitely keep, always as number one would be to bring people to God, just to, because there's a difference between happiness and joy. And music might make somebody happy for, an hour or 3 hours or however long the show is.
Mm-hmm.
But if you bring somebody to God, that makes them happy for a lifetime.
That brings them
and
joy.
Even after that. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Would you incorporate, do you like to sing a mix of secular music and religious music, or do you see a line between the two? Do you like to talk to your crowd and encourage them with uplifting stories? What's a typical performance like for you, and do you like to bring your faith into your shows?
Well, I love to, I don't really see a line between country music and, I'm not going to say contemporary Christian music, because that's a different genre than country.
Mm-hmm.
But there are songs out there like Larry Fleet's new song, Where I Find God. That is considered a country song, but it's pointing you to God and saying you can find God in anywhere in these places, from a bar to the lake to anywhere.
Uh-huh.
And I like to put songs like that in my show, and I'll do things like I'll Fly Away,
Mm-hmm.
or Blake Shelton's song Savior's Shadow, talking about, Jesus, our Savior, is always watching over us and making it where he's going to lead us. Even through hard times, he's still going to lead us.
Yeah. That's really cool. I love that the fact that, and that's a core part of you, and that you can feel an avenue sharing it through music. It's great. If you look at Megan Danielle, her recent performance and achievements, another example of an artist doing the very similar thing. It's good. It's wholesome and it's great for people to hear. So I will be right behind you, supporting you in that. I think it's great. So that's 5 years. Now, a question came up in my mind while you were talking. So, you painted a picture of the kind of shows with the big letters. I love you mentioned that. Look at his cell phones. Then, would it matter if you didn't have gold records or top 40 hits or whatever? Is for you? Is the concert, the live performance, like what you can envision, the bread and butter, the thing that gives back to you, or would it be nice to have a gold record hanging on the wall too?
Well, I mean, the concert is definitely like the meat and potatoes of the business that I'm in, and it's great. And I mean, of course, I would love a gold record hanging on the wall, but if I never get that, I would still be happy with doing music. And of course, I would have to provide for my family, so music would probably get cut down quite a bit so that I could work to provide for my family. But I would still definitely do concerts and things so that, I could still bring happiness to people's faces while I'm up there on that stage.
So you can see it as we talked about earlier, that it's a core part of your life that as you're young now and you can pour into it you have other obligations, but at least you have the roof over your head and food for your, in front of for you to eat. But when you start your family, then decisions have to be made but you don't see music going away in the sense it's always going to be a part of you, and you're going to always try to bring that happiness to the people who listen to it and to yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I love that. I can appreciate that. And I don't doubt it at all, because thinking about the Gibson story, it's there. It's part of you. It's not going to be removed. And I desperately hope that there's a gold record hanging on the wall, because if that's the case, then you've got some security for your family, right? I think that kind of symbolizes the monetary part of it. But I love that you get the enrichment and the feels from the show, and that's what I expected you to say. It's really great. Well, as we finish here, Johnathon, and I would love for you to tell everyone the best way to interact with you, because some people are heavy into one social media platform, and they don't use social media much at all, and they would just rather people to show up at shows. How would you like for people to follow you and grow with your music?
Well, if I'm doing a show near you, I would love for all of you to come out, all of you that are listening. But if you can't make it, and if you also want to know about those shows, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Johnathon Heilbroun Music. And it's is my name going to be spelled in the description?
Yep, it will.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's spelled just like it will be in the description, and it's Johnathon Heilbroun Music on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or you can also look at my website, which is JonathonHeilbrounmusic.com, and it has a bio about myself and all my upcoming shows. And so if I'm doing a show near whoever's listening, then you guys come out and support me if you can. But if you also want to support me in a different way, you can also follow me on all social media platforms.
And stream your music on repeat, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, that's great, Johnathon. I really look forward to all this music that I just know is inside you, and it's ready to come out, and it's going to continue to come out. So I think, we're in it for the long haul for you, and I appreciate everything that you're doing. I love your dedication, your respectfulness, is off the charts. You're a super respectful person, and I think your parents did a great job with that. And that's gonna carry you a long way in this life. I appreciate that. So you're a pleasure to talk to. Call me back anytime you want. When things change in that crystal ball, those 5 years go by and you're doing those shows, don't forget about me. And we'll get you back on, and we'll see if we were right. Like, let's, to pencil it in your calendar, in 5 years from now, we can, or sooner, we'll do a checkup on Johnathon, and we'll see how the predictions went. Does that sound fair?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck. And again, it was a pleasure talking to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
Yep. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
I pulled up for some fuel at the local station. Yeah, I hit the Quickie Mart for some drinks, food, and conversation. This girl put it in park, I wasn't waiting on an invitation. Cause it's 4:59 on Friday time. And what I'm trying to say is I've only got a minute till quitting time. This truck's made for two, honey, hop inside. I'll take you anywhere down to my last dime. We can get it all started after quitting time. If you wait just a minute, honey, what do you say? We can leave, after that I'll carry you away. We've only got a minute, honey, what do you think? Be my Friday night, Saturday, church going Sunday. It's my favorite local spot when you're Nashville hot. When the music comes on, we start burning up the clock. 9 to nothing, I know it seems like a lot. Even the dance floor's burning for what you got. Maybe I can call you baby, wish you would just be my lady. Girl, you got me drowning and you know that you're the one to save me. Dancing with you, baby, never felt a feeling this amazing. Friday night, Saturday, and church going Sunday. I've only got a minute till quitting time. This truck's made for two, honey, hop inside. I'll take you anywhere down to my last dime. We can get it all started after quitting time. If you wait just a minute, honey, what do you say? We can leave, after that I'll carry you away. We've only got a minute, honey, what do you think? Be my Friday night, Saturday, church going Sunday. Girl, I stop in here at least 4 days a week. But honey, 3 with you is hotter than the Georgia heat. I'm hoping that you feel the same way. Be my Friday night, Saturday, and baby, be my church going Sunday. Yeah, yeah, I've only got a minute till quitting time. This truck's made for two, honey, hop inside. I'll take you anywhere down to my last dime. We can get it all started after quitting time. If you wait just a minute, honey, what do you say? We can leave, after that I'll carry you away. We've only got a minute, honey, what do you think? Be my Friday night,